I don't know. I mean, that's what I hear, but I've never been there.
Considered a slur. Yes.
Yeah.
A slur. The word should now be censored and treated
I
like
want to read this. Hold up. Let me read
a
this.
slur. The word.
Oh, no, no, no. Mercedes claims that obesity is a slur used to exact violence on fat people, particularly black, disabled, trans, poor, fat people, and offers a fat ode to care that students are instructed to analyze, taking note of which sections most resonate for you. How much do you guys want to bet that the person who said that originally has a job at a company that is not... it is not crucial for that company to produce its product. They have a non-essential job. Yeah, I think this is 100% chance. Yeah. Does this have to be satire? No, it's not.
The word should now be censored
some of them
and
probably
treated
are,
like
right?
the N-word. Honestly, I couldn't make this up even if I tried. Even though I have zero
It's pretty much the
expectations
same
of
thing.
anyone on the internet,
Yeah, guys.
I'm still somehow disappointed.
I can always identify someone who doesn't have a great grasp on history if they see medicalization as a stamp of inherent virtue. This comes up a lot when I talk about how the word obese is a slur. At least one person will always pop their head out of the ground to say, obese is a medical term.
But it quite literally is. It says it right here. It's a medical condition that people can get diagnosed with.
As if that somehow makes it better.
No, that would just not make it a slur. It would make it a medical condition.
You know what else used to be a medical term? Like a lot of bad shit we don't say anymore. Because we realized it was stigmatizing as fuck and it actively harms people.
You know what else actively harms people?
Well, here's the thing, is that if we change the word obese to being something else, like, I don't know, you can come up with any word, right? It doesn't really matter. People will turn that word into a slur. And the examples of words that were used back in the day as medical distinctions that turned into slurs, the only ones that we really don't use anymore are the ones that were racially, motivated, like mongoloid or something like that. We don't use that word anymore because that's a racially charged word. It's a bad thing to say. You don't say that. And so at least, like, you know, most people don't say it. It's been changed. Autism, right, exactly. And so there are other examples of this, but I think that's probably the best one. Maybe retard, yeah.
People, obesity. You fucking twat. And unlike words, obesity actually harms people on a biological level. And even if you call it something else like round or big-bodied or morbidly obtuse, it's not gonna change the fucking issue. Because it's
people
not...
are just gonna use whatever word that you use as an insult. It doesn't matter. It's like you're just moving the goalposts and obfuscating things so you can make it seem like people can't say what your lifestyle is bad. That's the only thing they're doing.
Derogatory term, it's a health problem. People are still gonna suffer from obesity whether you call it obesity or not. My God.
Well, I would expect, actually, if you keep changing the name of it, that, you know, it actually becomes harder for people to deal with. Right? I mean, like, think about, for example, like, how many times they've changed, like, PTSD wasn't originally called PTSD. You know, they used to call it in World War I shell shock. And I think that, like, the constant changing of that term, this is a George Carlin thing, right? Is that the constant changing of that term was done, and I think it did a disservice to veterans because it was like you're resetting the awareness of the issue.
Never thought I'd ever have to explain that.
Science and language are both constantly evolving and updating. The medical establishment is not exempt from this.
Science isn't necessarily updating. Our understanding of science is updating. These are two very different things.
anything, it's actually a particularly strong example of how this happens. We don't need to look too far back into history at all to see how medical terminology and practices change.
Yeah, well, that's due to a little known fact called technology. The reason why medical practices change is
because something else cool.
due to technological advances.
Yeah.
Back in the day, they didn't have technology to pinpoint each medical issue. But
Well,
now...
no, that's not even the reason. The real reason why it's changed is because the better, more effective solution was discovered. That's the reason why it gets changed. So it's like, yeah, this is really bad. Okay, maybe we should wash our hands because we've done testing and we have done experimentation that has led us to this conclusion.
We do, and with that knowledge, we can tell that being morbidly obese is not good for you.
Yeah.
For example, homosexuality is no longer diagnosed as a mental illness. Female hysteria is not something that's diagnosed anymore.
If I speak, I'm in big trouble.
Ah, yes. Two psychological thought processes which don't inherently kill you. You know, guys, I think I'm starting to see the relation between that and having plaque literally cover your organs. Yeah, they're definitely the same thing.
Cocaine and heroin are no longer prescribed as anesthetics or cough suppressants. Lysol cleaning spray is no longer used as a douche. We don't perform ice pick lobotomies anymore. And doctors no longer advocate for the health benefits of smoking cigarettes. Oops.
You know, it's almost
That's because every single one of those circumstances, there was testing, experimentation, and peer-reviewed research that arrived at the conclusion that these things were bad. That's why they were changed. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy.
like there's a way for doctors to tell if there's something biologically harmful to you.
Yeah.
I wonder if they can still do that. Oh well, I guess not. Is her argument here that science is just outdated and that there's nothing unhealthy about being overweight? Because if that's the case, then she'd be wrong. The same.
Well, I mean, these are the people, like, you can't expect somebody like this. Like, here's the thing. I remember back whenever I was in school, and there were a lot of girls in the school, and guys, too. It's not really a girl thing. They just dumb as fuck. Like, they're not going to understand a periodic table. They don't know what gravity is. They don't know how to do multiplication. This person is like, you know, 150 years ago, 1,500 years ago, this person would be perfect for taking big rocks and turning them into little rocks with a big rock. They would be great for this. But now society has evolved in a way that this person has no outlet. So what do? They make videos justifying being fat on TikTok. That's the next best thing.
We know smoking cigarettes is bad is the same way that we know overeating is bad.
Yeah.
You'd expect a fully grown adult to know this.
It's crazy.
More importantly, when a marginalized group tells you that a word or practice harms them, you can just go ahead and believe them.
Oh God.
No. Well, I'm not going to allow somebody to dictate what I think. So because you're fat, I have to listen to you? Nope. Nope. I don't think so. It's just about it.
I love alcohol.